تعلو السنة الغراء يوما وإن رغمت أنوف الحاقدين ويظهر نورها في كل أفق وينشر خيرها للسالكين ويدخل خيرها في كل دار وينصرها إله العالمين ستظهر بعدما خفيت سنين تدك عروش كل المحدثين.
Point number 2, the second point that we want to make is, or the second principle we should understand, that there is a false principle used by some of the groups of innovation, which is that they divide the religion into usul and furu'. Usul and furu'. So they say, in the religion there is usul and there is furu'. What do they mean by this? They mean by this that when we speak of usul meaning the foundations of something, that the foundations of something are those things which you believe in your heart. These are the usul. And as for the furu', the branches, they are the things that you act upon with your limbs. They are like, for example, the acts of worship and the dealings between the people and so on and so forth. Where did this differentiation, where did it come from? Where did it originate from? Let's read the words of Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, he says in Majmu' al-Fatawa, volume 19, page 207 onwards, he is discussing this issue of when a scholar may make mistakes. So in the course of that discussion, he says, and he speaks about the Imams of the Salaf, he says, قالوا والفرق بين مسائل الفروع والأصول إنما هو من أقوال أهل البدع من أهل الكلام والمعتزلة والجهمية ومن سلك سبيلهم. So he says, indeed, this differentiation between the issues of usul, that which we call usul, and that which we call furu', this is from the statements of Ahlul Bid'ah, from the Mu'tazila, and the Ahlul Kalam, and the Jahmiyyah, and whoever followed them. So this differentiation of the deen into usul and furu', what was intended by it by the Mu'tazila is they meant to say that the usul are those things which we can establish by way of the intellect, by the aql, and those things which are definitive, which are certain. Alright, so matters of belief, speech about Allah, speech about His name, speech about Tawheed, this is from the usul. And the furu', the matters which are from the furu', are those things that we speak which are practical matters, things which we act upon and so on and so forth. And so they're the first ones who really made this distinction. And then they were followed in this by others. As he said, Ibn Taymiyyah continues, والفرق بين ذلك في مسائل الأصول والفروع كما أنها محدثة في الإسلام لم يدل عليها كتاب ولا سنة ولا إجماع. That just like this distinction is innovated in Islam, there is neither anything from the book, nor anything from the sunnah, nor anything from ijma', which even proves or gives evidence to this foundation. There is nothing whatsoever. And he says, وَلَا قَالَهَا أَحَدٌ مِّنَ السَّلَفِ وَالْأَئِمَّةِ. And not a single one of the Salaf, the Imams of the Salaf, they never said this. And then he said, فَهِيَ بَاطِلَةٌ أَقْلًا. That even rationally speaking, this is false, this principle is false. And then he goes on to explain that those people who try to claim and bring a proof that yes, there is a distinction between usul and furu', they don't have any clear proof, and the proof is contradictory sometimes, and it's all inconsistent. So then he goes on. So the point that we're making here is that to divide the religion into usul and furu' is a mistake. Why is this a mistake? It's a mistake because when we look in the books of the Salaf, we see that usul, foundations of the religion, there are matters of belief and there are matters, practical matters, things that we act upon. When you look at all of the books of the Salaf that were written in the early times, you see that they mention from the usul of this religion, what do they begin with? To hold fast to that which the companions of Allah's Messenger were upon. Is this a matter of belief or is it a practical matter? What's the answer? Yeah, both. But it's a practical, it's a matter of belief because we have to believe that, of course, but it's practical as well. It's an asl that practically speaking we hold on to what the companions were upon. So is this now from the usul of furu'? According to the Mu'tazila and Ahlul Kalam and the Jahmiyyah, they were treated to be from the furu'. Okay? Likewise, to have patience upon the tyranny of the rulers. Is this a practical matter or is it a matter of belief? Oh, it's a matter of belief, but it's practical as well, right? Is this from the usul or from the furu'? Is it from the usul or from the furu'? From the, according to them, from the furu'. According to us, it's from where? The usul. Do we not see it mentioned in all the books of the Salaf? Sharh al-Sunnah, Usul al-Sunnah, Imam Ahmad, all the books of the Sunnah, we see it as an asl. And they say that whoever opposes this asl is from Ahlul Bid'ah. Okay? Likewise, we see many other affairs which are mentioned, which are from the usul, even from the scholars like Ibn Taymiyyah mentions in this passage. He says, likewise, the salah, the prayer itself is an act of ibadah. It is from the usul of Islam. Because whoever leaves the salah, then he has entered into disbelief. So the salah is from the usul of Islam. So even from that perspective, this differentiation, that usul are the matters of belief, and the furu' are the matters that we act upon from the ahkam and the ibadat and so on and so forth, this is batil from that aspect as well. Even from the aspect of the ibadat. Likewise, to abandon shirk and to abandon mocking the religion and so on and so forth, that itself is from the usul of Islam. So we see from all of these angles this claim that the usul and the furu', that there is a distinction between these two, that one is belief and one is practical matters. This is false. This is incorrect. And we need to be very, very clear about that in our minds, because when we understand this point, we will understand the misguidance of many of the people in our times who try to push certain things which are from our usul of this religion, and they push them into the furu'. Don't cause splits in matters of furu', because they treat it to be from the furu', whereas in reality it is from the usul of this religion, from the foundations of this religion. So as I said, when you look into all of the books of the Salaf, they say, for example, Imam Ahmad, Usul al-Sunnati indana, the fundamental principles of the Sunnah with us are, and then they start mentioning them. To hold fast to what the companions were upon, to abandon innovation. Then they continue to have patience upon the tyranny of the rulers, to accept the legality of the rulership of a man who either takes over us by way of force or by way of the acceptance of the Muslim. There are many things which are like this. Likewise, in terms of fitna, when there are found the Khawarij, to not enter into the fitna, to not enter into the fighting. And all of these things are from the usul of our religion. And as we see that they would expel from the Sunnah anyone who opposed any of these usul. So it is not just matters of belief only, it is practical matters as well. Until even certain matters of fiqh, they would make them a distinction between Ahlul Sunnah and Ahlul Bid'ah, like wiping over the socks, for example. Okay, so we see even those matters came into the books of Aqeedah, the books of Usul. So this is a second point now that we should be very clear in our minds. This distinction between Usul and Furu', and limiting Usul to matters of Aqaid, beliefs, and Furu' to practical matters, this is false. It is opposed to what the Salaf were upon.